got a long way to go, boys. We got to go all the way to the shop. We actually got a really, really long way to go. A few miles on the old cruiser board. Good little workout though before we get to work at the shop. I'll explain more when I get there. What's going on, fellas? Welcome back to another beautiful day over here at Skiff Land. Quite the journey to get here today. Had to push the board a few miles and in the flops, dude. Check out that tan line. Pretty crazy, but also having to grip the flip-flop. Dude, toes big cramping right now. But I had to do that because last night when I got back to the shop, I just figured I would leave Sunburn here. Told my wife to meet me here, and then we went to dinner afterwards. Went home, absolutely not expecting this at all, but randomly, super random, some guy wanted to buy my wife's Jeep this morning. So I was just like, I got a number in my mind. If that works for you, let's get it done. And dude, bought it. It was the quickest, weirdest, most random interaction selling / buying a vehicle that I've ever encountered. But yeah, pretty sweet. Sold my wife's car, and I was just like, all right, I guess I got to push back to the shop because a real hustler don't pay for no Uber. Just kidding. It probably would have been really beneficial to just pay for the Uber. The kid's got heart failure, brother, but sometimes doing a little trek like that, I have to ask myself, do I really have heart failure? I don't feel like people with heart failure can do stuff like that. Sometimes I got to get buck. But regardless, today's video is going to be about a cheap skiff versus an expensive skiff. We're just going to go over the two because it's not often that I have two 16-foot fishing vessels at the same time right next to each other that are this similar. So I want to go over a lot of things, see what's more like worthwhile as far as you looking for your next skiff. But before that, I was thinking, it's been so long since I've introduced myself on this channel, and just on the off chance that you're new here, I figure I say, hey, how you doing? My name is. So let's start there, and then let's get into some updates, and then let's get into the video. So first off, my name is Anthony. It's a pleasure to meet you guys. I am a husband. I'm a father of 4, 2 of them up in heaven. 1 is 9 months old, and 1 is on the way. That's what my whole life is about, dude. It's just about my wife and my babies and just living good, vibing good, whatever. Keeping the vibes nice and the stress low. I make videos about skiff stuff. I buy a bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace that's usually in poor condition, and I put some hours into making it kind of sweet again, and I have a fun time along the way. Make videos out there on the water, cruising to the sandbar, having a good time, fishing here and there, kind of, at least casting here and there. But I have a good time, and I just figured I would say that. If you're new here, I daily vlog, so I'm here every single day. I kind of was a guy that needed a homie every once in a while and didn't know where to turn. So on the off chance that you're a homie that needs a homie, I'll be the homie here every day, just trying to be a homie. Nothing too serious, nothing crazy going on over here, just homies being homies. All right, just chilling in the shop, working in the garage on a brisk Saturday afternoon. Those are the vibes around here. That's me. I'm glad you're here. I really appreciate you for showing up for the kid. And let's get into it. I don't know where I'm gonna go with this video, but let's just go. Oh, I forgot about the updates. So just a quick little update. The trailer that I had over here, I sold it remotely as well, dude. Somebody messaged me on Facebook Marketplace and said they were in the area and if they wanted to come get it, or if they could come get it. And I was like, yeah, sure. They shot me some Venmo, paid 50 bucks for it, dude. I think that's a steal, yo, because everything on the trailer was good except for the tongue. It cracked in half. But regardless, I got the parking space back. The Arian's 17.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton motor under there. Runs like a top, but I ordered a new carb and everything because that solenoid on the bottom was sticking. So I keep having to clamp it off, and I figured might as well just get a new carb and make sure everything is good under there, because I'm going to be putting that thing to work, dude. I've been having so much fun with it. Updates. Somebody's actually coming to buy the Skiff in the back of the shop right now. They're going to be here in like 30 minutes. I've been chatting with him back and forth on Facebook Marketplace for the past couple of days now. I marked it pending after our first conversation because, one, he seemed like a really good homie, and two, he seemed like he really wanted the boat. And this particular boat, I only really wanted to sell it to somebody who really like wanted to fish the boat, like, because I put a lot of time and effort into it, and I actually was going to keep it until I found this Skiff over here. But even still, I was thinking about keeping it because it's just perfect for what I like to do. It's a 16-foot fiberglass Skiff. I believe it was a Sport Tracker fiberglass 16 before I put my hands on it. I guess you could say it's a Skiffland Boatworks custom. Let me get up a couple levels. But I really didn't have intentions on selling it. But this guy, he seemed really cool, and he seemed like he was going to put it to good use, and I figured might as well, dude, because I'm going to enjoy the 16 over there for quite some time, and I don't want this one to go to waste. So this will be getting fished here in the near future. But while it's still in here, I figured, might as well go over the similarities, I would say, because this is a 16-foot Skiff, and this is a 16-foot Skiff, and you can pretty much do the same things with both of these boats, but very, very, very different price points. I bought this boat originally for $800 with the trailer, and actually with this Evinrude 50 horsepower over here that I actually got running really, really good. That thing runs like a top. I need to put that on Facebook Marketplace here as well. And it also came with this polling platform over here, which is in really good condition. It could use a repaint, but structurally it's really good. But I got the whole setup for 800 bucks, and I believe that I could make more than $800 just on the motor now that I have it running really good. And then the money from the polling platform, I figured it would be kind of a break even or make money without even having to rebuild the boat. But I took on the project anyway, put a lot of time into it. I put thousands of dollars into it. I really didn't mean to, but halfway through the build, I figured I'm gonna make this boat just for myself. So I wanna make it into a boat that I really, really wanna fish personally. So I went with the open concept in the back, the front deck in the front, the Minn Kota 55 in the front with an actually really big battery under here, 165 amp hour, 12 volt lithium battery. Set up to the Noco Genius charger and the Marine Co plug over here. It's just pretty easy. It's nice. It's plug and play. It's easy to use. Cruise up to the spot, lift up the trolling motor, and start fishing. And then this bulletproof, absolutely bulletproof tank of a unit, Yamaha 15 back here. This thing is a beast. It's like never let me down. This thing runs like a champ. It just sips gas, dude. The tiller extension on here, everything. I mean, it's super light. It's sweet. This boat can get really skinny, just like the other boat. I want to say, without doing numbers, I would assume that I'm around $2,000 into the boat and the trailer as well. I had to buy this separately because the other trailer snapped on me. But I mean, Yeti 75, dude, let's just get into it. All right, let's get into it. I paid $800 for this boat. I probably have $2,000 in it. Let's just say that. And then this boat over here, which is just decked out to the nines, pretty much every upgrade you would want on a skiff is here. I paid $8,000 for this boat. I would assume I could probably sell it for $13,000, maybe more. The only upgrades that I have done so far was install a 12 volt 100 amp hour lithium battery under this front deck, and I relocated the gas tank to under this rear deck. That is pretty much it, aside from little cosmetic stuff like painting this exposed wood on the bunks black and adding new transom ties. $8,000 for this boat, $800 for this boat over here. Obviously put a little time into it, a little money into it. I want to say 2,000 versus 13,000. I would say this boat has everything. It has the jack plate that you want with the motor directly to a switch up here on the front of the tiller extension, so you can raise and lower on the fly. It is an on the fly jack plate. This motor also has electronic tilt, so it's super luxurious, I would say. It's a 2024 Tohatsu 30 horsepower. It's fast, it's mean, it's smooth. It's a really, really good motor. Switch panel here for everything. There's nav lights, there's blue lights in the cockpit, there's white lights in the cockpit. There's trim tabs back here as well that provide a really smooth ride. It has mounts for a push pole, but I don't have a push pole for it. This boat over here has push pole mounts and an actual push pole. I want to say probably a 17-foot push pole. I forget the brand, but this boat is completely custom to me. That boat is more so custom just off the line. I would say the better thing on this cheaper boat is actually the Minn Kota Riptide. This is a actual saltwater series Minn Kota 55, as opposed to this Minn Kota over here, which is the freshwater series. If you see the Minn Kotas black, they're usually for freshwater. If you see them white, they're usually for saltwater. So this one requires a little more maintenance on the back end. Whenever I get back to the shop, I have to rinse it out the same way I do the motor in the back. Oftentimes I'll drop it in a trash can full of water and let it run for a while, spray it down the best that I can. It's just not made the same as a saltwater series. So, but I have a couple more Minn Kota 55s over here that I could switch onto that Skiff over there. But just in all honesty, I'm just being legit. I'm just being me. I'm just keeping it a buck right now. I really enjoy the black accent of that Minn Kota Power Drive up there. I think it looks pretty sweet in the black color. So, I mean, call me crazy, but I'm okay with putting in a little more effort, cleaning it up at the end of the night, listening to music, whatever, just to have it black. It's crazy, but it is what it is. This boat has a cup holder. This boat does not have a cup holder, but this boat does have a Yeti 75 that this boat does not have. I don't know if you've been cruising Facebook Marketplace at all lately looking for a 16-foot skiff, but they're not very cheap. They're actually hard to come by. Like a legit, I'm talking legit turnkey boat ready to go. You could put it in the water today and fish with no issue at all. And they're hard to come by. They're 5, 6, 7,000 for, you know, a John boat that probably leaks, whatever. I don't know why the boat market has jumped up a little bit recently, which is good for the seller, bad for the buyer, because you're actually probably going to pay more money for a boat that you got to put a little money into. But these two boats right here are absolutely turnkey, ready to go. This boat right here, I'm selling for $4,000. which I think is a stealio for a backwater boat that you can get into those spots that you want to fish. You got the Yamaha 15 that'll push you there nice and smooth. You're gonna get to that backwater, tilt her up. This thing floats in spit, brother. This thing floats in almost no water at all. You can push pole through, get to the spots in the back, drop the trolling motor if you got enough water under there, and really just fish all day in those backwaters. You can do that with this as well, but let me just tell you, if you go over an oyster bed in this particular boat, it's gonna make you go, ugh. But if you go over it in the $4,000 boat, it's not as big of a deal. At the end of the day, this boat was painted with exterior paint, a couple coats of exterior paint, for that reason alone. I wanted to keep it as cheap as possible because I actually wanted to fish the boat. I wanted to put it to use. I didn't want to be too cautious about my baby, that I didn't want to take it into those really skinny backwaters and risk running it along some oyster beds or some rocks or some rough sand or whatever, because this gel coat is absolutely beautiful and it is really, really, really good condition, and it would absolutely bum me out big time if I accidentally went over some oyster beds and I just heard the over the, dude, it just makes me cringe even thinking about taking it over an oyster bed, or even things as simple as bumping into a dock too hard. I like to keep things simple, dude. I drop the boat in the water, I tie it to the dock right there, and I go back to the truck, and I come back, and I don't like to think about it. I don't want to have to think about putting fenders out or whatever. So just keeping things as simple and as cheap as possible keeps me really stress-free. So that's something to think about. Because the more money you spend, the more cautious you are about things, which sometimes intervenes with the good time that you want to have. Sometimes, you know, you bring the old lady with you, she's looking to have that glamorous, like, chill time with her sun hat on the front of the boat, and you're in the back of the boat just, like, worried about everything. That used to be me, dude. I used to be worried about everything so much that I couldn't even have a good time out there on the water because I was worried about, dude, I'm running into rough sand, and like, am I putting too many hours on the motor? Like, is it gonna affect the resale? Like this and that, dude. So many things I used to worry about, but with a boat like this, it just is what it is, dude. It's a fun fishing boat and it's cheap. You can have a good time. What else do we got? We got a shallow water spike over here, which I actually don't have on the new boat. The spike is really beneficial, dude. Just get in that shallow water and spike it down in the sand and you're not going anywhere. I've been considering putting one of those micro push-pull things on the back of the IPB skiff that you put one of these in and it kind of does the job for you. I've been thinking about that upgrade. If I find one on Marketplace, I might do it, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with just keeping it sitting in here. This thing actually gets so much use. You're like coming in a little too hot to the dock, use this thing to push you off a little bit. If you're cruising a little bit too far away from the dock and you need to pull yourself back in, use this thing to pull yourself back in. There's so many uses for this thing. I push stuff all the time with it to keep the boat off of whatever. I've used it as a push pole before in really skinny water and it works really well. This one has a tiller extension that is like $24 from Academy. This boat over here has a tiller extension that I've never seen before, and it's really, really nice. Carbonmarine.com push pole. It has buttons up here. I actually have no idea what those buttons are for, but it's pretty sweet. I've never seen one before, but like I said, this thing has all of the higher end upgrades compared to that one. This motor, you can pull it to start it, but it also has the electric start under there. This one you got to yank it, but it is a first pull motor, so you don't got to yank it long. I put in the hours to, you know, get the maintenance up to code and everything so that this motor was going to be bulletproof for me out there on the water. No issues at all. So, I mean, this motor's good to go. Both trolling motors are remote controlled, handheld remote, but I've actually been using the foot pedal on the IPB skiff. It's actually been really fun. You can put a foot pedal on either of them, but this one is, I only have a remote on board. This boat over here, I have a remote and a push pedal. This boat over here does not have a jack plate, but I think that would be the next upgrade that I would do. If I was going to keep this boat, I actually think I would probably spend a few $100s on a on the fly jack plate if I could find one on Facebook Marketplace, or just one off of Amazon would do just fine as well. Just lift it up a couple of inches. I'm trying to think. This one's got an extra prop over there. This one does not. I'm trying to think of other things. This one has the trim tabs. This one does not. But I mean, this one, okay. I want to say this one tops out at like 35 miles per hour on a glassy day. This one tops out at like 20 miles per hour. It's not like a race boat by any means. So it's going to take you a little longer to get to the fishing spot, but it's all about what it is that you're looking for. Because I'm okay with saving $10,000 to just put 5 or 10 more minutes on the journey to the fishing spot. I'm cool with that. Trailers, I think this trailer is like really beast. It's a low profile Continental trailer with the sweet tires and wheels. The wheels is honestly kind of what sold me on the boat. This trailer is just a quick solution for the broken trailer that I had. This trailer is actually a little more beefy than it needs to be. So you could put an 18-foot boat on this trailer just fine, but I really like it because of these steps right here. Super easy access to the inside of the boat. Like, I really enjoy being able to stand up here. This one over here kind of has that, but they're plastic. At least the covers are plastic. Ugh. Well, my shins hit it though. I can't really stand up there the same way that I can over there. But I mean, that's getting rather nitpicky. This boat has rod holders here and the ties back here. This boat does not have any rod holders. I kind of just lay things in there to keep it as open concept and as easy as possible. But there are rod holders all around, fiberglassed into the boat. So if you want to lay down, like put down your pole for a second, have some baits out, whatever, you're in good shape for that. These rod holders pretty much are just cosmetic. I liked how the black accent looked up here, I guess. That's why that's there. And then I keep this dock line up here just kind of at all times. EVA foam throughout the boat. Came out a lot nicer than I thought it would. This EVA foam over here came with the boat. I didn't do this. It looks really good. Over here in the corner, it's kind of lifting up. And in this corner right here, it's sort of lifting up. I might have to throw some super glue under there. This boat has a fish ruler. This boat over here does not have a fish ruler, but it could like benefit from one. Probably put one right here on the back side of this EVA foam, or on this front hatch up here. I'm trying to think of other things, other little things. These cleats are fold up and down, and they click into place. I like those a lot. This boat actually does not have a single cleat, so I just tie my dock line to this with a little slip knot, and that's been working nicely for me. This has those fly fishing things up here that make it look really aggressive. I actually don't know if I would like the boat the same without them. A couple of them fell off. There's 2 missing on this side and 1 missing on this side. I'm going to have to put those back on the boat at some point. But I think boats look so sweet with that. I don't really fly fish anymore. I used to. We would take fishing trips down south all the time. And I got into fly fishing pretty big back in the day. But these days, I've just been trying to keep it chill with just a cheap spinning rod and reel and a nice stress-free time out there on the water. But you could maybe put those on here. I don't know, maybe not. It would really just be cosmetic on this particular boat, but it would look probably pretty sweet. This boat just got a brand new rub rail. This boat up here actually has something that I really, really enjoy. This like black thing underneath, this plastic black thing, really help. It's like a splash guard. I don't know what you would call it. I forget, but it's like a splash guard. So sometimes I hit wake and it looks like I would be getting splashed, but these plastic things stop the splash from coming over the bow, and it's really kept me dry out there. This boat is actually a really, really, really dry boat. This boat, the way that it's shaped, is also just organically a really dry boat. It doesn't have a splash guard under there like this one, but it's a really, really dry boat. Dude, I have absolutely no complaints with this boat at all. Zero. I don't have a single complaint. This boat, my actual only complaint, and I'm just being as honest as possible, is that there's more things that you can mess up on this boat. Like if you tilt the motor the wrong way, or you have it trimmed the wrong way, or the trim tabs are the wrong way, your leg accidentally hits the trim tab a little bit, you're gonna have a really, really poor time for a little while. This one is like, you crank that motor and you just go. You just go. There's nothing you can really mess up. You're just good to go. This boat right here, if you were just like giving it to somebody who's not very experienced in boating, they would have a rough time trying to figure out how to get the boat going properly on the water. It actually took me 2 days on the water to really, really get comfortable with it. And I'm like on the water all the time. So that's my only, I guess, annoyance with this boat in comparison to this boat, is this one, there is a lot more room for user error. This boat is literally just hop on the boat. It's a 2-stroke. So the only thing you have to remember is to put the appropriate amount of oil in the fuel. That's literally it. And then pull the choke, pull the cord, fire it up, put the choke down, and you're good to go all day. You're good to go. And this boat over here, the fire up sequence involves the jack plate, tilting it, making sure everything is all good, the trim tabs. So, I mean, there's like angles you have to work into. I mean, it's all whatever. I mean, this is way more luxurious and way more cool, I would say, but that one is super user friendly in comparison to this one. But dude, I'm trying to think of other things to like compare. If I sold this boat today, I would sell it for $13,000. I guess, which is a standing offer if you want to come pick up the boat. But full transparency, I paid $8,000 for it. I'm probably gonna fish it the whole entire cold season, and then probably look into selling it aggressively at the beginning of next season, like early in the year, next year. That's maybe what I'll do, but you never know, because somebody can just see it at the gas station and want to buy it, and I'm that kind of guy. Everything's for sale all the time. This boat I would sell for $4,000 today. That's what I'm gonna try to do. So I mean, $4,000 and $13,000, it's like, I guess whatever it is that you're looking for, because they're both 16-foot boats. They're both tiller motor boats. They both have a 55 Minn Kota up front. They're not much different at all. This one has double the horsepower, but it's like you're gonna get 10 to 15 miles per hour more out of this one for $10,000 more dollars. But like I said, it's all about, you know, what it is that you're looking for. If you're looking to be more flashy out there, this is obviously something you should look into on Facebook Marketplace. A newer model IPB skiff with really nice gel coat. If you're looking to just get out there and fish and have a nice stress-free time on the water, getting in those backwaters and not worry about scratching up the boat, losing your investment or whatever, then something like this would be for you. or getting into a project like this, I can't stress it enough. There's industry standards, quote unquote, industry standards out here. People will say, oh, dude, man, you shouldn't ever put exterior paint on your boat. Are you paying for the gel coat, brother? Are you paying for the initial base coat and top coat? And then are you going to pay to fix the gel coat gouges when I go over the oyster bed? Are you going to pay for that? No. Dude, I put exterior paint on this boat and I kept the gallon of mixed paint over here just in case I go over some oyster beds or get some gouges or whatever and I need to throw another coat of paint on her. It's not going to take me but 20 minutes and my still initial investment. So I mean, my goal in building this was to show people you don't have to like follow some weird rule code or rule book in building a skiff. You can build a skiff exactly how you want to do it, as cheaply as you want to do it. And if your end goal is just getting out there and having a good time fishing, then go do that. Don't stress too hard about it to impress somebody that, you know, doesn't care. I mean, they don't have any skin in the game in your boat. Also, dude, when I'm out here on the water, nobody's coming up to me like, hey, bro, that's not gel coat. Like, nobody's coming up to me doing that. Every time you see somebody, they wave at you and they say, doing any good out here? Catching anything? Whatever. Like, stuff like that. Dude, nobody cares what paint was used for your boat until you get up to those higher number boats, obviously. Like, something like this, I would never put exterior paint on because this is a boat that I'm really trying to retain the value in and constantly upgrade it. This one is like, dude, if I put gel coat on the boat, if it looked exactly how it looks right now, but it was expensive gel coat, it's still the same priced boat at the end of the day. I mean, it's still like, I'm not going to get a lot more money. The same person that's going to buy the boat as is would buy the boat if it's gel coat. And I mean, if he wants to gel coat it, then he can. But if I end up keeping this boat, then I want to keep it exterior painted so I can just keep it chill, I guess. If that makes sense, dude. You know what I'm saying? And all the decisions that we made, the floor, the boat didn't need a floor to begin with. The boat was perfectly fine. My brain was telling me that I needed to add flotation foam in the boat and kind of add a little more structure because I took the back deck out, but it was not actually necessary to put a floor and flotation foam in the boat. So it kind of just made it way more stable. Actually, way more stable. This boat, the floor, dude, I'm glad I just started talking about this because the floor in this boat knocks the floor in this boat out of the water, dude. This boat, whenever you start going over some ripples and everything, you can feel it in the bottom of the boat. Like, you feel every single wave that you go over in this boat. It seems to be pretty thin fiberglass. This boat, you are rock solid. You cannot feel a single thing. It is solid as a rock under your feet, and it's actually one of the, I'm very happy that I put that floor in there. It makes it for a really, really nice ride out there, to be honest. Some people were hating on it, but it is what it is, dude. They're going to be out there hating on you anyway, so you might as well stay true to you, brother. But yeah, I can't stress enough, the floor in this boat is absolutely rock solid, bulletproof, gallons and gallons and gallons of resin and fiberglass and yowzers, dude. That was a journey for that week, and it was constant ups and downs. It was a roller coaster of emotion on my end, but the first time that I took this boat out on the water and I could feel the water under me, I was so happy with the decisions that I made on this particular boat because I can't feel anything under me at all. It's just rock solid, dude. If you're gonna take your family out there fishing, this boat is so incredibly stable for the size of the boat. Dude, let me put some measurements on her. Let me find my measuring tape. because I believe they're not far off. Ugh. All right. Of width or beam, I would say this one is 6 foot beam. I want to say this one's probably like 4 feet, actually, now that I look at it. I could be wrong. Hang on, I actually think the guy's here to buy it. So let me finish that up in just a second. Sorry I had to rush that so fast. He bought the boat. Such a cool guy. He was super cool over Facebook Messenger, and he was really cool just now. I'm so stoked that that boat is going to him. He's going to fish it up in the backwaters of North Carolina. He's going from a Ginu to this, so it's just going to be night and day difference. He's going to really enjoy it. He bought it for $4,000. I think that's just like perfect. That's not what I listed for. I had it listed for higher, but now we just have this empty void in the shop. I'm bummed that I didn't get to do a couple of the things that I wanted to do on that skiff. One of the things was I really wanted to go out and camp. It was just the perfect layout to put an air mattress down in that big area in the boat and just pull up to a sandbar somewhere, stealth camp overnight with the ice co cooler that I have in the office. Such a cool guy. The other boat is down there right now. I had to move it out of the way so he could back in and everything. So because of that, I'd really like to use the lawnmower, the old skiff hauler, to move the boat back in. But I realized that my fuel filter wasn't even getting fuel anymore, or there was no fuel going to the carb anymore. And it basically was this switch. Hold on, let me clip the microphone to the T so I can show you. On this solenoid, there was this, hopefully that doesn't fall. Oh, this switch right here, it was just stuck in, completely in, was stopping flow, I guess. Whatever, this thing wasn't working properly. So it was causing a lot of issues. Now, I just let it soak in some carb cleaner in here, and I kind of just went like this over and over and over again until it started working. Now it's quite smooth. So I think we're going to be in a better spot. I think we'll be able to get it to fire up, and then whenever we turn it off, I think my float's not going to be stuck anymore, or my switch or whatever. Dude, I do a lot of random stuff on this channel, a lot of tinkering. Sometimes I do truck stuff. It's mostly boat stuff and water stuff. Lately, I've been on this lawnmower kick because I've actually really been enjoying it. Just kind of figuring out how to work on this motor. I've never worked on a lawnmower before, but just figuring it all out without looking at a single YouTube video has been really rewarding. Just figuring out one thing at a time. It's when it runs, dude, it runs fantastic. And day by day, we're just making it even better. So this is just what I'm doing right now. And like I said before, this is a daily vlog. So I literally show you everything that I do on a day-to-day basis. I guess I'll finish that up in a second. I don't need to bore you guys with all of that. But before the sun goes down too far, I figure we look at this skiff one more time, because when I was looking at it like this in comparison to the other one, it was mighty similar. Even the color, they were both gray. So I mean, dude, I don't know. Even talking about it with the homie, I was starting to think like, dude, I think I'd rather, if I was gonna keep a skiff for forever, dude, I think I might want the other skiff. I don't know, dude. All right, sue me. Also, just another funny thing. While I was hanging out earlier, my shop neighbor came over and he had this impact, and he kept telling me, everybody keeps telling me I need to get an impact, which I do. I'm not against the impact, but it's just these things cost money, dude. Ain't nobody giving me no free impact. So But people keep telling me to get into impact, and he keeps saying the same thing. He walked over and was trying to tell me about, man, this impact has so much torque and this and that, yada, yada. And he came over to my spare tire and he wanted to show me how much torque the impact had. And he was like, dude, watch how fast it takes his lug nut off. He went to put it in reverse, but he accidentally put it in forward. Dude, broke it off the stud. Look. So, I mean, the Cobalt impact, it's got some torque. That's one way to figure out how much torque it has. Just straight up broke the lug nut. Another reason why I don't really care about having an impact or not, because using the breaker bar and whatever, I don't know. It'd be my fault, not the, I don't know, dude. I mean, obviously not a chance I'm going to convince anybody to use breaker bars instead of impacts. That's just a me thing. Because I'm cheap, brother. I'm cheap. I try to cut corners financially. But dude, let me cruise back into the shop. Let's talk numbers. I think if I can remember, I'll try and just put some numbers down just off the top of my noggin. So let's call it the Skiffland boat work. So the SB Skiff, let's call it that, is the one that I just sold. And then this down here is the IPB Skiff. Bingo. Originally paid $800. Let's see, I paid $500 for the trolling motor. I paid $620 for the Yamaha. I paid, let's say, $100 for the EVA foam. I paid $200 for the Yeti 75. What else? $24 for the tiller extension. Let's say $20 for the battery tray. I don't have it right in front of me anymore, so I don't know it off the top of my head. I paid $200 for the new trailer. There's so many things, so many things. I want to say miscellaneous maintenance and the hydrofoil on the motor, let's call it $100. Let's say the paint alone, the exterior paint, just the paint itself, let's say $100. All of the fiberglass definitely was like a $600 heater. That was a very expensive journey that we went on with the marine grade plywood, all the fiberglass, all the buckets of resin. What else did we do? I'm trying to think. If I think of anything else, I'll put it on there. For the IPB Skiff, we paid $8,000. I spent, I don't remember the exact number, but I think about $130 for the keel guard. I spent $60 on the transom ties. I'm pretty sure that's all that I put into the IPB Skiff. So I mean, these are the comparison numbers to get a boat to standard to get out there. I mean, obviously these are so many more things that you have to do, and this one you pay $8,000 and you just do one thing, two things. So this is a good visual representation, because there's other things like I remember spending $20 on bolts for the trolling motor, all stainless bolts. I remember $30 on that keel guard. That one was a different version of the keel guard. There's so many things. Let's say miscellaneous, $20 for black spray paint for a couple of the things on there. The Marine Co plug, let's say $40. That 165 amp hour lithium battery was actually a more expensive lithium battery, so I'm gonna put $400. There's so many things that we did to that skiff, and I could sit here probably, like, let's just say all of these dots represent other steps that we had to take to make the boat where it is right now, I would say these are all different price points. So there's so many other things that I had to do, so many more headaches, whatever. And whatever that number is probably still shy of what the number actually was. So I guess that's something to keep in mind. Do you want 35 different projects that you have to do? Or do you want just one or two projects and then get out there and fish? I don't know, dude. This is all just a yap at this point on a Saturday afternoon. I was actually watching UFC while we were in here hanging out, chatting, and UFC ended up being not the best. Dude, I really wanted Dan Hooker to come through with a W, but unfortunately he got subbed. Dude, right when he got subbed, I turned it off so fast. I honestly didn't even see him tap. Right when he started to lift his hand up, I was like, turn off. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to bed. I'm done. Forget it. But I mean, there is other things, like you could subtract $50 for the trailer that we sold today. You could subtract a potential, let's say, $400 for the polling platform. You could subtract the potential, let's say, $1,200 for that Evinrude 50 in the back corner. There's, a little bit of give and take. So, I don't know. It's the way that I operate. If I'm buying a boat for myself and I know that I'm going to hang on to it for a while, whatever, I want it to be the cheapest possible, because that's how I live as stress-free as humanly possible. Just have the least amount of financial stress and investment that could go wrong at any moment. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd probably choose the old, use the old SB skiff. So, I mean, I don't know. This is all just a yap. But regardless, I appreciate you for hanging out. It was just a little update, a little Saturday update and a smidge of a comparison between the two skiffs. Those are probably two of the most similar 16-foot skiffs that I'm going to have in here side by side. I really wanted to have the opportunity to take them both out, but it just wasn't in the cards for today. But that's going to be one of those things that I wish I set aside time for, to take both skiffs out and do like a side by side, maybe a little drag race on the comparison day, maybe see if they both can float in the same amount of water, stuff like that. I wish I would have done that. But it is what it is. All the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, I'm just going to let those go for today. It's been a big Facebook Marketplace week this week, so I'm going to try and relax the rest of the night. Regardless, like I said, I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Just a fun day in the shop. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Jet skis inside, IPBs where it's going to be hanging out for a little while. The mower's in here as well, dude. Funny story. I kept tinkering with that float switch and float and everything. I took the carb off and cleaned it and put it back on so many different times, and it still wouldn't fire up. Finally, I was like, what's going on, dude? I'm not even getting any fuel to the inline filter. I'm getting nothing. Realized there was no fuel in the tank. So I guess the other day when that switch was just wide open and fuel was just going straight into the crankcase, all the fuel went into the crankcase. So there was no fuel in there. I was wondering why it was running so good earlier in the day, and then I just parked it over there, and then it wasn't running good when I got back. That's why. There was no fuel in it. It took me way too long to realize that, but it's always the simple stuff, Anywho, aside from all of that, it's nice to have some space back in here. It actually is quite delightful to have it back like this. So tomorrow I'm actually going to Destin. It's me and my wife's anniversary, so we're gonna cruise out to Destin for a couple of days. And I'm gonna bring the Sea-Doo just because that water over there deserves some exploring. So we'll see what we can get into over there. But so that's fun. The next couple of days is gonna be some Destin adventures somehow. But I don't want it to be too business related. But we'll see what we can get into. I had a good time. One more look at the board. I don't know. That's a comparison for you. Either just the most unorganized long video of such a simple comparison. So my bad, my bad. But I'm gonna cruise home right now, and that's that. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow in Destin. Bye.